Okay, everything seems to be good. Hey, streams up on YouTube. We're rocking and rolling. All right. So today we have some very important stuff to do. We gotta go level up this fucking necromancy. Get this stuff up to 50 here. We did manage to get our range up to 50 last night, and we got our Void Knight Defender here. So instead of using the Dragon Shield and only getting 30 defense, we're now using this Void Knight Shield and getting 133 defense, which is a massive improvement. So very excited about that. Should be all around good for our character here. So we're going to get our necromancy up to 50. We're going to make our level 50 ranged item because we don't have that made yet, which will probably be throwing knives because I love the throwing knives. I think they're a lot of fun. They're doing pretty good. And then we'll upgrade our necromancer weapon to good old level 50 as well, which should be pretty easy to do. And then we'll be good to go. And then we're going to start fighting the mole. So I don't want to fight any of the other bosses, and I don't really want to do a lot of leveling up unless I absolutely have to, because I can't kill the mole. But I don't want to do a lot of leveling up. Just in case I need that. I don't think I will, but let's put these away also. Before I finish the mole's logbook. Because I do want to try to do that. I want to try and get the dragon sword and the other 2 bits. He's only got 3 items in the logbook. And so I want to slow down a little bit, right? We've been pushing pretty hard on levels. There are a lot of things that got left behind. Yo, what's up? Zesty fucking queso. How in the hell are you? Yeah, but I want to slow down a little bit. We've been pushing really hard on just grinding levels, which is great and is a lot of fun, but it is ultimately going to stop us from doing some things. So we're going to repair these. It's going fucking awesome. Going so good. I'm so excited to fight this boss. So excited to get all of my combats up to level 50. I'm just so excited that I just can't hide it. We are going to crush this shit, though. Mole is the target. Yeah, we're gonna beat that mole man today. Beat his little ass. But we're gonna slow things down. We're gonna do a bunch of quests. We're going to kill the mole a bunch of times so we can fill out his logbook. I think I'm kind of at a point right now with a lot of these 50 skills where a lot of things kind of have opened up for me and I need to do them. We got a couple of extra Tuskas. So while we were farming our Tuska gear set over at the Beastmaster Hounds, we got a couple of extra Tuska books, and they high alch for 750k. So we high alched them, and now we're rich as fuck. Now we're rich as fuck. Yeah, it was a nice little bonus. It definitely took some of the weight off of my shoulders about, being able to buy stuff and things like that. Like I bought out the whole ghostly ink ritual candle thing so that I could just have this shit and not have to worry about it for a while. Couple extra big bones, nice. Very, very nice. We're also going to need to actually go ahead and go kill some vampires also. Because I definitely want to bring my vampire bat into the mole. Just for a little extra sustain. The vampire bat is really good. It can use its special ability a lot. Without, like, running out of energy or whatever. So... Oh, yeah. Getting up the necromancer. Gonna level up the necromancer. We're gonna get a bunch of these levels also from some Slayer quests today. We don't have enough bones to go all the way to 50. That would require like 200 bones. Require us to do 200 rituals. And while I think we could probably get 200 rituals done, I actually think it's probably faster to level up by just going ahead and killing enemies. We also need to kill some enemies so that we can get this Well of Souls leveled up a little, so we can get some more stuff from there. There aren't a ton of skills in the Well of Souls that I'm going to be using in the immediate future because, I'm doing the hybrid thing. So I'm going to be using a shield, and I don't have the conduit. I'm not rocking a lantern. Necromancy is the perfect example of what a combat skill should be in this game. Very easy for new players to understand. Still has some depth. If I'm being perfectly honest, I have not enjoyed the necromancy skill. I don't know. I've enjoyed leveling it up. Every other combat skill is significantly harder to understand. I suppose. I like the way you level up necromancy. I like that you have these rituals and stuff. I like this altar. I think it's super cool. But I don't know. The way a lot of the necromancy skills operate on the Revo bar and stuff just kind of annoys the crap out of me, if I'm being honest. It is my least favorite, and I'll probably only use it for things like Blood Siphon and the Soul Split and all that stuff. Well, like, for example, Blood Siphon is really hard to get to trigger with any sort of effect. Because it just triggers, right? And so instead of going up near the enemy to trigger Blood Siphon, so some of them are like ranged abilities and some of them are like melee abilities, and your character doesn't move to get into range. And so the character will start Blood Siphon while the enemy is too far away, and then the ticks don't actually continue to hit the enemy. So you don't actually siphon any health. And then, like, it's all just, like, super fucking awkward. I don't know. And then, so sometimes I'll be trying to like grab an enemy that's a little bit away. So it'll be like within range of some of my abilities, but not within range of some of my other abilities. And so I'll go and start like trying to get to an enemy, but there's like a weird cast time on some of the abilities. So when I'm using range and stuff, my character just like walks over and throws a dagger and it's good. But with the Necro, for some reason, my character will be like trying to get to it, trying to get to it, trying to get to it. I don't know. I've only ever used Blood Siphon while doing AFK Slayer against melee mobs. Yeah, I imagine that it would probably work really well for that, for sure. But it's been a little awkward. It's only Riggs. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the channel. Thanks for the follow over on Twitch. Welcome, welcome. How are you enjoying your time in RuneScape? I mean, I don't mind, some melee abilities and stuff. But this Revo bar just doesn't do a good job of moving your character. And maybe there's a setting I need to hit or something. I don't know. I wish it would just, if it's out of range and it's going to use a skill, just get within. Well, and so that's actually probably wrong. They probably are in range of the initial hit, but it's the siphoning channeled hits that it's not in range of. And so that's probably the problem. Because it only hits within that 2 tiles to do the 4 hits for the channeling and the siphoning. So I think that's probably where the problem comes in. Yeah, of course. Thank you. Dabbing in and out of RS3, OSRS, WoW at the minute. Can't quite decide where to spend most of my time. That is a good problem to have, if I'm being honest, Riggs. Good problem to have. So WoW is another game that I've never played. And when I was younger, I don't think I would have enjoyed WoW. In fact, I know I wouldn't have enjoyed WoW, because I guess technically I have played WoW. I played until level 6 on a Paladin. But now that I'm a little older, and I like things that are a little calmer, I would probably enjoy some WoW action. And so we'll see what happens with Classic and stuff like that. There may be some WoW in my future in a year or two. Who knows? We shall see. Certainly not anytime in the immediate future, because I'm fucking loving this game. So much fun. Oh my goodness. Get that wandering soul. Give me another thing to work with. Thanks, bud. The Chunk Man group Iron Man, I mean, that's fair. That is kind of the future. Always a scaper. Oh, a runescaper. Got it. Started way back when WoW was more of a recent venture. I'm honestly really jealous of those of you who started way back in the day with RuneScape, because I didn't. And now, like, I won't get my 20-year cape until 2045. Like, that's so not fair. So not fair. By the time it's 2045, I'll be like living in outer fucking space. I'll have like 8 million ping because I'll be trying to play on a US server from the moon. I don't know, RuneScape has ruined every MMO because nothing is as good as RuneScape, so I never really get to play. I mean, I'm still hopeful that something, because RuneScape is great because its underlying motivations are great, right? The way it moves you around the world and the way it's got, all of these breadcrumbs leading in all of these different directions, and you're just walking around and you're like, "Ooh, I want that. Ooh, let me go do that. Ooh, that's nice over there. Ooh, I want to go do that." And it just drives this sense of exploration. And that's the thing that's great about RuneScape. I don't have a problem with the graphics. I enjoy the graphics. This is good enough for me. But the graphics aren't better than other games, right? The combat mechanics and stuff I really enjoy. I really like this Revo bar. But this combat system, while I really like it, isn't necessarily in its best condition. So something better than RuneScape. Hey, what's up, Untamed Gorilla? Something better than RuneScape can totally come out. It just hasn't, which is kind of sad. I also agree with that, Riggs. The storylines are so good. Absolutely, 100%. I mean, I've skipped every other storyline in every other game I've ever played on this channel, so absolutely. I don't skip these. Oop, we got sparkles. We got sparkles. We're about to hit level 44 here. The storyline in RS3 Endgame is awesome. I legit role-played the last 2 to 3 desert quests. Nice. Fuck you, Raziel. Threads of Fate is huge. Oh, yeah, this is gonna be big for my AoE build. So something else I learned today that I didn't know, that might be pretty huge for my hybrid thing, is Necromancer gear has less of an impact on accuracy of other weapons than other gear, because it's like not in direct opposition to anything else. So I think we might, if we can't do the hybrid thing with actual gear sets, we might end up being able to do the hybrid thing with like a full set of necro armor. So we'll have to check into that for show. We'd still use the shield because I still want to be able to constantly be casting revenge. But could be interesting. We'll have to see. Blow my bully boys blow. Soon may the weathermen come. I wonder how much this increases my defense rating by. We need to look at this real quick. So steel skin, where's my defense rating at? Total armor, 985. We hit that, doesn't change anything, so that's not what I'm looking at. What does it mean by increases your defense rating? Don't make no damn sense. It also doesn't appear... Oh, it is using up prayer points, okay. Won't show on that page, but it will increase the number just in the background. Well, that's fucking stupid. How am I supposed to know how much it increases the goddamn number if you're not gonna fucking tell me? Put my information in the freaking UI. I need to know. You can't just give me some weird, arbitrary... It increases it some. Like, that's... Holy crap, dude. Okay, it increases my defense by 6 levels. Great. What does that do? Oh, I fucking hate this game. I need to be able to see my numbers. I need to be able to know the impact of my skills. How am I supposed to decide if steel skin is better than strength, is better than improved reflexes, if I can't see any numbers? That's good though. I'm probably always going to have this one up. This is especially going to be really useful for when I make a two-hander build that's designed specifically for like farming AoE, because I'm going to use the skill set that allows me to gain prayer back, and that's going to be pretty huge for me. I'm going to use the gear set, not the skill system, the gear set, due to the fact that for as long as I can remember, hitting bigger number is better no matter what, even if it means that you get hit harder. We're gonna change the opinion of a lot of people on that. Doing more damage is not the best way. Everybody is wrong. I'm the only one that's right. I'm right. Everybody else is wrong. For 20 years, despite having access to all of the ability to test all of that stuff, I assume that everybody has just come to the wrong conclusion. Don't actually assume that. I assume they're probably right, but still, we're gonna do it anyway. It'll be fun. There once was a ship that put to sea. I've got that stuck in my head so hard right now. Oh my god. I didn't need to do that at all. What did I click that for? You're the first person ever since the evolution of combat to equip a shield. Nobody's ever tested it. I hope that's true. Although probably mixing the shield with the hybrid thing is a good way to prove my theory wrong. Because I think that the hybrid thing is also going to be significantly reducing my overall efficacy. I don't know, maybe a 6% chance at a critical is enough to boost my damage here. But I have this sinking feeling that it's not going to work out the way I want. But we'll see. You claim it's not in the cards. Fate is pulling you miles away, out of reach from me. But you're here in my heart, so who can stop me if I decide that you're my destiny? Yeah, I mean, even looking at necromancy alone, the damage would increase a ton. With lantern instead of shield, because the skeleton conjure and the absolute demon and the ghost heals you for more life. Yeah. Yeah, no, the necromancy absolutely does not work with a shield. Absolutely. You lose use of way too many skills. Which is a huge problem for me. Which is also one of the reasons there's also no two-hander necromancy weapon, as far as I can tell. Which also kind of puts a damper on things for me. Because I want some necromancy stuff in my two-hander build, but there's not really anything there. Yo, what's up, Master of Light? New boss on Monday, could drop one, never know. Hey, maybe. I tell you what, if I do get a two-hander necromancy item, we might be switching to all two-handers. Who knows? Who fucking knows? Nobody knows. Did I get that present from the Christmas event? What present from the Christmas event? You mean for being on the nice list? The 5K points one. Oh, the 25K points one. Yeah, I'm Iron Man. It won't let me buy it. It won't let me buy it. Which really took the wind out of my sails. Really took the wind out of my sails. Yeah, probably. Who knows, though? I don't know. On the bright side, I'm getting lots of wrapping papers over here. We have been spending a lot of wrapping papers. I think tomorrow, is tomorrow Monday? Or is tomorrow Sunday? Tomorrow's Sunday. So tomorrow is the last day of this week, right? Because the Christmas event started on a Monday. And then every week is when you're supposed to be able to get your nice list presents or whatever. And that's like where you're supposed to be able to get the hats and stuff, yeah? So tomorrow, we'll be going to get some presents from Santa Claus for the week, which also means that we need to do our clues. I have not done any of my clues yet, and this is supposed to be the bonus clue week. So we'll probably do that tomorrow, because I want to do them all today. So tomorrow we'll run our clues and get whatever. Could get the blue or yellow Santa from the wrapping paper, 530 million and 300 million respectively. Nice. Okay. Present has a chance for a death touch dart. What's a death touch dart? Instantly kill anything. Fuck yeah, dude. That's how we get the mole right there. Doesn't work on boss encounter. Does it at least clear, like, the phase? Can you, like, use 3 of them or whatever to kill 3 phases? Because that'd still be dope. That'd still be worth. Oh. There's a little treasure chest mimic. Oh, it's a bank? What the hell? That's so cool. Okay, well, that's not terrible. I wouldn't be super excited to have to do that way, but still cool. Ooh, we're gonna get to 45 here. This is nice. It's hard to come by, so there are certain bosses that people have deemed worth it to use it on. Some of the higher end bosses that actually get full killed by them. Nice. Very nice. What if we rewrite the stars? Say you were made to be mine. Nothing can keep us apart. You'll be the one I was meant to find. It's up to you, and it's up to me. No one can tell us what we will be. Yeah, I mean, I guess if you can make, like, 100 million off of the boss kill, but it only costs 1 million to get the dart, then you get 100 tries to turn a profit. That's a pretty good deal. I mean, those are obviously just made up numbers, but... honestly, I'm hoping I get the Black Party hat too. People in this game seem pretty obsessed with the Chunk Man, if I'm being honest. So... I'm pretty stoked about maybe to get to do it. I just watched a couple of videos from Hannibal where he's doing like a Supreme one chunk, and he spent 2 years in his first chunk because he had to get almost 69 million wood cutting XP to get the beaver for his skilling pet that he had to get in that chunk. 5,000 hours in one chunk. That was, I mean, that's just crazy. Just fucking crazy. I don't know that I could have done that. I don't know if I have... Yo, where are all these bones coming from? I didn't realize I had so many bones and shit. This is great. I've already passed 2 whole fucking necro levels. Killing the game over here. We've only been at it for like a half hour. Yeah, it was pretty awesome. Pretty awesome to watch. That is a level of commitment and willpower that not a lot of people have. Doing rituals is the fastest way to train this skill, especially at the higher levels. Yeah, I would imagine. I thought that maybe they took a little too long. I thought maybe killing things would be better, but it seems like because you can just go straight into a ritual, straight into a ritual, straight into a ritual, it seems pretty good. But we do have to kill enemies because we do have to level up our Well of Souls. Gotta level up that Well of Souls. 20 to 30k a pop. Holy shit. And damn. A wandering soul. Get it. A broken memento. Nice. No one can rewrite the stars. How can you say you'll be mine when everything keeps us apart? And I'm not the one you were meant to find. I was so excited to get my freaking shield yesterday. This is such a great moment. An extra 103 armor. Look at all these people doing rituals. There's like a bajillion motherfuckers over here right now. Look at that list. Fucking crazy. Yo, what's up, Dimebag? I almost missed the Wandering Soul. Holy shit. Oh shit. I didn't realize Dismo was in the conversation earlier. Dismo, what's up with you? Sometimes I don't read the names of who's saying what. Sorry I missed you there, dude. We're doing good. Doing good. We got 5 more levels to get Necro up to 50. And then we're gonna go start farming this mole. Beat his ass like he owes me money. See if we can't get some logs. So, when we go in here, we look at our beasts. And we look at boss kills, and we look at the collection log here. We've got the giant mole. So we can get a dragon 2-hander sword. We can get a clingy mole pet. I assume that's a pet. And whatever this molly is. Can someone tell me, though, is there a way where I can see the drop rates of these in-game? Because I'd love to know what the kill count and stuff for those are. Without having to exit the game. Or is that not a thing? Thank you, Dimebag. I appreciate it. It is coming along nicely. We're going to start slowing down on some of the levels, I think. Thingy Mole goes on a Dragonfire shield. And in-game, no. Oh, okay. That's cool. But I know the rates off the top of my head. Oh, cool. What are the rates for the mole? It's really too bad that you can't see them in-game. That makes me so sad. Sparkles. One for 2.5k for pet with thresholds at 400. 2.5k. What the hell? One for 500 for the 2-handed, and one for 100 for the clingy. Oh, okay. So it's like super easy comparatively to get the dragon sword and the clingy mole. And then Molly is just going to be like a fucking slog. Okay. I see. That's good, though. Mole pet is one of the rarest PVM drop pets. Really? That's really dope that they do it that way. Because people will grind for the pets and stuff. When it comes to things like cosmetics and pets and things that don't necessarily have a ton of power associated, that's where you want your longest grinds, right? You want your shorter grinds to be power-related options because you want your more casual players to be able to achieve maximum power. Maximum fashion isn't really a requirement. Not everybody needs to be able to get there. And a lot of casual players don't even really care, right? They'll target farm specific fashion pieces instead of trying to get all fashion pieces. But you, as a casual, you do want all the power pieces. So it's good that they've got sort of a good spread there of how you get those things. I'd also recommend the hard mole, as it's not much harder, but loot's so much better for irons. Okay. We'll probably work our way up too hard. I want to start on the easier modes because I've never killed a PVM thing before. And I have no clue how to do it. So we'll start easy and then we'll move our way up. But maybe we'll be at hard by the end of the day today even. Reaper tasks. What's a Reaper task? Is that like Slayer for bosses? Got it. Who do I have to talk to for that shit? Talk to death, do one task a day. All right, perfect. That's good information, Dimebag. Thank you. We will definitely do that. And then we'll kill the mole. You can only get bosses you have the levels for, so you can only get skilling bosses in the mole at your current combat level. Isn't there a 65 as well? Or is that the skilling boss? I wish there was a way that I could rearrange these in order of combat level so I could see which ones I actually have the ability to maybe get or do. Okay, this is the skilling boss, yeah? Yeah, I fucking hate the wiki. I hate having to go out of the game, especially because then y'all don't see what I'm looking at, right? It wouldn't bother me if I was just playing on my own, and I use the wiki quite a bit more when I'm not streaming. But it drives me up a freaking wall for y'all not to be able to see what I'm looking at. But yeah, here's the one. The King Black Dragon is a recommended combat level 65, so I could potentially end up with this one too, yeah? Oh, okay. So the Dragon Rider stuff is an all. It's a tier 45. Too bad it doesn't have, like, any... Gross. Whatever. You are Runescape Wiki. There you go. Yeah, well, and that's another thing, is I prefer the collaborative, talking to y'all thing. If you get KBD, you won't want to do it until you get Protect from Mage. Don't I have Protect? Do I not have that yet? No, I don't have any of the Protects yet. Okay. That's alright. I feel like I can still beat his ass. My shield is the same as protection from mage, right? Totally the same value. We'll bring our dragon shield. Oh, that's why the mole makes the dragon shield better, so you can do the King Black Dragon, isn't it? That's why. Yeah, we'll bring our dragon shield. You're gonna love necromancy. It's hands down the strongest auto-attacking style. So I've actually been kind of disliking it untamed. And it's specifically because of this blood siphon skill. Because the range on the initial attack is so much higher than the range on the siphon. The character consistently uses it to basically zero effect. And it's really starting to piss me off. Sometimes, yeah, no, I'm definitely using it for my two-hander build with the prayer leech set. And then I'm gonna get, so I'll have two-hander melee, two-hander range, two-hander magic. I won't be able to have two-hander for necro, but I'll use it in that. And then I'll go down. That's probably also how I'm gonna end up farming for my other god sets down there. La da 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 la da 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 la da 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 dum. I think we're about to hit level 46 even. Yeah, we're definitely going to get level 46. I didn't think we were going to get this far. I didn't think I had this many bones. This is great. What do you do with the drunken sailor? What do you do with the drunken sailor? What do you do with the drunken sailor? Lie in the morning. Put him in the bed with the captain's daughter. Put him in the bed with the captain's daughter. Put him in the bed with the captain's daughter. Lie in the morning. Bop, bop. Oh. Need to go back to next. Finish log there. The CVO with RS3 at the moment. Yeah, when you gotta take a break, you gotta take a break. Ain't no sense in trying to make yourself play if you're not having fun at the moment. Don't do nobody no damn good. A boater has arrived on Lake Nemesine? What the fuck does that mean? I dove too deep into late game combat in any style other than Necro. Racial's all mad because I'm getting closer and closer to being able to fuck his ass up. Beat his ass. I don't normally like magic as a class in most MMO games. But I actually really like the magic style in this game. I don't really care for the range style. It's a little meh. But I really like the melee and the magic style for sure. For sure, for sure. In-game range is super fun, really? That's cool. In-game range requires 13 PhDs. I don't know what an EOF is. In-game necklace that holds weaponry specs on it. Got it. Got it. Can those weapon special attacks that are on an EOF be used on the Revo bar? Not that I'm aware of, Dimebag. I used to have a Discord and you could have just sent me a picture, but that's not really a possibility anymore. Because my Discord got deleted. aren't really any ways to contact me outside of Twitch, and there's no way to share images on Twitch. That's interesting. If you can revo bar the special attacks, that has some implications for This game is trying to be too complicated. This game is too fudgin' complicated. A wandering soul. Get out of here. Most places, I don't even take food, I just take more gear switches. That's what I want. I want to not take food, and I want to just swap my weapons. Although it doesn't seem like I'm going to be able to just swap my weapons. It seems like I'm going to be swapping a lot of gear. Which I don't know that I like. This game is kind of getting crazy. Like, the more I learn about it, the more I'm just like, what is going on? The constant gear swapping is honestly kind of a meh for me. I mean, if you're going to have a bunch of necklaces and you're going to have a bunch of different weapons and you're going to have a bunch of, there's a point at which it just becomes kind of silly. Especially because that means that there's 2 button presses every time you want to use one of those skills, right? I got to click the button to swap the gear, and then I got to click the button to use the skill that it's attached to. And that's crazy. I don't want to do that. That's way too crazy. A 6-way that needs to be done in one game tech? Yeah, that's dumb. As long as I can do it in the way that I want to do it, I'll be happy. Because I don't want to do that crazy, super uber efficient fucking 100,000 APM a minute. That's not fun. Not for me anyway. It's why I stopped playing RTS games. Because while I think RTS games are super cool, you know, they require extremely high actions per minute, and people are constantly, um, you know, just like clicking unnecessarily to keep their APM up so that they keep themselves like actively doing things so that they can react faster and stuff and move their troops around better. And it's just too much. Even when I was young, I couldn't. There was no way. This seems like a game like that. Like you're just clicking constantly. Just boop, 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 boop. You can do all you want with Revo and a basic understanding of the game with a few. Okay, cool. Yeah, we're good then. I won't worry about all this high-end fucking bullshit then. Play the game like a normie. More Christmas wrapping paper. Heck, are we gonna get all the way to 47? Are we getting more XP from this or something? This is crazy. You're so crazy. Say learning to surge and dive will be the hardest part. It's semi-needed. Yeah, I don't mind. I love movement skills, in fact. So I don't mind that. That'll be fun. Does surge and dive go to where your cursor is? Or does it go to where you're moving to? So do I have to like click and then click surge and dive? Or can I just hover and click? Or does it just go in the direction you're facing? Where you're facing? Okay. Dive is where you click. Yeah, that is going to be pretty difficult to learn to control. That is going to be pretty difficult to learn how to control, but I think we'll figure it out. It'll be all right. Hey, we only need 5 more of these things before we hit level 47. Let's see. Go get whatever we can out of here. Go deposit this stuff in here. Go do some more. Some fragile mementos. Fragile. Ba-da, ba-da, ba-da-da, ba-da-dum. Can't believe I'm already at 1150 skill points. I can't believe that even though I have like a third of the possible skill points, I only have 4,600,000 XP, and I need to get to 5.8 billion. So I don't even have 1/100th? No, I don't even have 1/1000th. No, that's wrong. Oh my god, I don't even have 1/1000th of the XP I need, but I have a third of the skill points possible. That's fucking crazy. Oh my god. What did I get myself into, dude? What did I get myself into? If it takes, so I've gotten less than 1,000th of the XP, but 1,000 months is fucking like 100 years. And I understand that I'll get more XP later, but still. Yeah, that's 83 and a third years. If things were going at the same XP rates. That's fucking bonkers. Draco, welcome to the chat. Welcome to the channel. Dracos. I can read. No, you shut up. Some skills can get 1 mil XP per hour later on. Yeah, I kind of figured that XP rates were going to be increasing pretty significantly. But even so, that's still a lot. 44 mil summoning XP in 1 day for funsies. I'm glad I'm not the only person who uses the word funsy. So when I was in college, Dimebag, me and my friends decided that the funsy was actually the unit of fun, right? So you do something for funsies, you're doing it for the units of fun, like a unit of measurement. And we came up with like all kinds of math for funsies, where like more people were funsy multipliers. Whenever things got broken, that was like exponentially more funsies. And so in our drunken stupor, because we were pretty much always intoxicated during that time of our lives, we created a game to maximize funsy. And so the way we maximized funsies was we got a beach ball and we sat in the living room where like we had lamps and stuff like that. And so whenever something got broken, that was exponential funsies. And so we would get this beach ball and we would sit in a big circle on all the furniture in the living room and we would just hit the beach ball at each other as hard and as fast as we could until somebody got hurt or something got broken. And that was how we maximized funsies. It was a good time. It was a real good time. The dumb shit you do when you're young. I I am literally training necromancy right now. I am, in fact, a necromancer. This guy's trying to gaslight me. This guy's trying to gaslight me. Because he's scared. Because he knows. He knows that I'm going to get him. Coming for that #1 spot. I'm coming for that #1 spot. Somebody just planted a tree. Cloud of sparkles. Gotta get them sparkles. Then we get a new wyvern bone. I don't think we're gonna make it to 48 before we're all done with all of our bones and stuff. But that's okay. We'll go do some Slayer tasks. And then we'll call it good. Dracos, from looking at your videos, I know you like to sword and board, but did you know you can use Necro offhand as a shield when you use runes and use shield abilities? Yes, I did know that. You actually don't have to use the Necro offhand. You can just use you can just use the shield, the runes for it. It doesn't require the offhand to cast Lesser Bone Shield. You just need the main hand. Or, I'm sorry, you don't even need the main hand. You just need the runes. But the problem here is that you cannot use offensive abilities. Yeah, so from my experience with it, so I tried to use Conjure Skeleton Warrior with the Necro offhand and a sword, and I couldn't. It required that I also had the Necro main hand. Because I did think of that, and I did want to do that as soon as I started training Necro, and the reason it's taken me so long to train Necro is because I was disappointed that I couldn't do sword and lantern and use the summons. It was very disappointing for me because that would have been super dope. But unfortunately, didn't work out. Yeah, I mean, everybody says Necro is pretty massive, and it looks good. I'm not having fun with it. But the thing that I primarily want to do is I'm really enjoying. I've got all this hybrid gear on right now. There's like 6 seconds of lag in this world. Are you in the same world as me, Dimebag? But yeah, so the thing I'm really kind of excited to do right now, Dracos, is I want to play with all of the stuff at one time because I want to do everything with the Revo bar. And so if I use hybrid, then that means that I can set up 4 different Revo bars, which means instead of 14 auto casting skills, I actually get. Oh, what's up? It's Dimebag. Do I have you? I do. So instead of 14 Revo skills, I'll actually get 56 Revo skills. Look at all this XP and shit. Like a boss. Yo. I want both of these. But I did get my Void Knight Deflector, which makes me super happy. Let's repair this. And let's do this last Necromancer thing here. This will be like my last one. And then it'll be time to go kill stuff to level up. We'll do these 63 shades real quick. Yeah, that Grimoire looked pretty good too. Grimoire looked real good. Ooh, critical strike chance 12. Yeah, that's a good one. Should be 10 million GP at auction house. Oh shit. Okay. Well, I think that's the last of my possible rituals. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna go back to the overworld. We're gonna go murder shit. Bye, Dimebag. Oh, 10 million. Wait, what? It costs money to use it? Oh no. Oh, okay. Good, I didn't get that guy. Cost pages. Okay. Got it, got it. Oh shit. That's expensive. I'm balling on a budget over here, so I don't think I'm gonna be able to do that. Let's give myself some steakies though. Let's go fuck up some shades on my Slayer task here. Endgame PVM is just how much GP you can spend in an hour. Yo, what's up, Sylph? Welcome back. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Don't you dare fuck up my food, you little shit. I hate these stupid ghost things. They're ruining my life. I just want to eat my fucking foods. Is that so much to ask? Somebody's bored. Drinking o'clock. Nice. Yo, what's up? Vegatron? Vegatronid? Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the channel. Love to see those new faces. How are you enjoying your time in RuneScape? Slap. Oh, get over here. Making snowballs. Hey, there you go. Did you see? I saw just the other day there was some nerd who was trying to make 1,000,000 snowballs this Christmas season. I saw it on Reddit the other day. That is some dedication. But at 9 XP a pop, that's 9 million XP. That's almost all the XP you need. It's more than half. That'd take you all the way to 93 or 94. Which would be hilarious. Eat an eel. Get over here, dude. Currently farming Raksha for drops, but not too much dropping at the moment. Still okay XP. You know, Sil, drop rates are so crazy. This game especially has a really crazy system for drop rates. Because the number of times you have to kill things is so high. The amount of time you can spend getting absolutely nothing is crazy. I mean, when you're talking about hundreds of kills. Racklet. Oh, is this from Raksha? 381 Raksha kills. I guess we can get these. Hey, why don't you come back over here, dude? He's got a 1 in 50 unique drop rate, so it's not bad. Oh, okay, that's good. I dragged a ghoulie over here. Nice. I don't know what Spike is. I assume that's a pet. Good job. Spooky, scary skeletons. I definitely think that without the lantern, necromancy becomes significantly less valuable. I think I think the lantern is a pretty big part. Okay, can you please just attack an enemy? That'd be great. Just literally do any skill on anything. Yeah, I mean it's really not working out so well. I mean, I don't even care necessarily about the DPS, but you just lose access to a ton of its skills. It seems to me that even though the game does have some hybrid gear, there seems to be a specific and intentional effort in the game to make hybriding virtually impossible. The hybrid system doesn't work. Yeah, I mean, it's, well, and not only does it not seem to work well, it seems to be directly countered. Invention for hybriding. So I don't really know anything about the invention system. I haven't interacted with it at all. So is there stuff that you can do to create hybrid gear with invention? That's cool. I'll have to look into that. I know there are some things that you can augment. Some of the gears can be augmented. Like uh what's his nuts? The evil dude from the God Wars series. Hybrid isn't linked with invention, but hybrid is possible at a high level of play. Zamorak or Zeros? No, the one that's trying to become a god. Body, legs, and weapon. Augmented, okay. The armor on that is huge. Oh, it gives you a damage bonus? Okay, that's cool. So it's just increasing the stats on the item. Typically, hybrid players use an ultimate ability rotation on one style, change out all their armor and weapons mid-combat, use another rotation on another style. Yeah, so that's not truly hybrid to me though, Sylph. Because if you're changing out all of your gear, um sorry, I'll figure it out here in just 1 second, Untamed Gorilla. What's this asshole's name? D. Dishonor among thieves. Sliske, that asshole. He's got some good augmentable hybrid gear. But when I talk about hybrid, I mean this stuff. For using both styles simultaneously without swapping items, yeah, the game doesn't really support that. Because you have all this god equipment, and it's not terrible. I think it's going to work into the mid game. But I think it's not going to work with Necro. I don't think Necro is going to be a very big part of this because, you know, right now, for example, I'm using a shield. I might be able to make Necro a part of this in the future for like my two-hander build where I won't be using a shield. And then when I swap to Necro, I'll swap to both my Death Guard and my Lantern. And that might make it doable. But trying to maintain this shield, which is something I'm really wanting to do, is have my shield on all the time. I don't think Necro really just mixes well with a shield because you lose access to all your summons. You lose access to a bunch of shit when you do that, so it's kind of just a bummer, you know? It's like they halfway did it's like they went halfway into a hybrid system and then like changed their minds. And we're like, you know what? Never mind. We don't want to be able to hybrid. And now there's just this remnant of a system that doesn't actually work. Just gotta get 3 more levels. And then it'll be mole time. Need to spend a day just cleaning. My bank is so full of crap. Oh my gosh, Vega, I'm not even... Like, I've only been playing for a month, and my bank is just in fucking shambles right now. I couldn't even imagine if I had, like, years of shit build up. Have everything in the wrong places, and... too many tabs, so you end up having to, like, scroll to get to the tab you're trying to get to, and... Oh, this is fun. Accidentally dragged... Ooh, an Earth Talisman. I need to spend a little time on mine, too, but... gross. Fucking gross. Talent tree, Will of Souls. You gained a talent point. Nice. Yeah, I've started to get a little more used to using the search bar, that's for sure. That's definitely important for it. what do we got equipped now? That's a whole new set of gear. It looks super dope. There's at least that. So that may end up being a thing that I do, though, is this necromancer gear impacts the accuracy of your other stuff less. And so there's a couple of things I'll need to try out. But it's possible that just running the necromancy gear and maybe even the necromancy offhand and then hybriding into everything else with the necromancy gear equipped might end up being okay. I have my doubts, but maybe. Set up like 6 presets, they're the best. Yeah, my problem is that I would start forgetting things. Presets, I think, are a great start point. Like, you know, you set up your preset for your gear or whatever, and some of your food. I probably need to preset some of these runes and stuff like that, and that'll work. But then you still are going to have to, like, you know, grab up some extras and stuff like that for the specific things you're going to be doing. Yeah, so I don't know if y'all have noticed what's been happening with this siphon skill sometimes. But when this person uses the siphon skill, the range of the single target attack for the siphon skill is the full range of the necro weapon. And so he tries to siphon and he can activate it at the full range, but it doesn't do anything to the enemy that it's attacking. So that enemy doesn't start coming closer, it continues to move away. And so he triggers the siphon, and then he stands there siphoning while the enemy is still moving away. And then once the enemy gets out of necro range, then it kills the channel, and he doesn't bring that enemy in to attack him. So there needs to be some sort of like a hit register or something at the beginning of siphon, so that if that's the skill that gets used, it draws that enemy in. Or it needs to set it up so that it won't trigger siphon unless it's within this 2 tile range, so that you then hit the enemy and draw it in so it's not leaving your range. Because the way it is now, it's just kind of a useless skill. Now, if I was using a manual, then I just would never start a combat with that. But because I'm using the Revo bar, I do start combats with this, like, all the time. And so it's just kind of obnoxious for the way that I play. It probably means I'm going to have to take it out, if I'm being honest. It's not really doing much for me anyway. Well, I don't cast any abilities. At least I don't cast any abilities that can be cast on the Revo bar. Like, these spells can't be cast on the Revo bar, so I'll cast them. My swaps can't be cast on the Revo bar. I don't think this stuff can be cast on the Revo bar. So I'm happy to have that stuff off. But if it can be cast on the Revo bar, I don't want to cast it myself. You mean that skill? You mean Touch of Death? Oh no, Finger of Death. Why did I not use this one? Oh, I didn't use this one because I was running out of adrenaline. And so I wasn't using my Rejuvenate. Because I was never able to maintain any adrenaline. So until I have Divert, I don't think I'm going to be able to use Finger of Death. As soon as I get Divert, though, I probably will. Divert should allow me to get significantly more adrenaline. I mean, I'll get it when I get there. Dime bag, I'm not worried about it. Have you seen the Daughter of Chaos quest? It's a big quest for the adrenaline bar. I have not seen the Daughter of Chaos quest. You've unlocked a new ability. Thank you. Let's put this new ability down here. Is it just a straight up ability? It is just a straight up ability. So, oh, it doesn't have... Bloat doesn't have a cooldown. Doesn't take damage over time. Applies bloated. This is actually definitely better. Oh, it does require adrenaline. Okay. So this is an adrenaline skill with no cooldown. So this is probably going to also be something I can't use. Yeah, have a good one there, Vega. Thanks for stopping by and saying what's up. I appreciate it. Why can't I see this Daughter of Chaos? Oh, there it is. Ooh, 40 Archaeology, 40 Divination. What do we get for rewards? What is it about this one that helps me get... Oh, okay. What does the puzzle box do? Portal puzzle box lets you keep your adrenaline out of combat. Oh, okay. That's cool. So that bloat is definitely going to do a lot more damage. But it is definitely going to prevent me. Because every time I get 20 adrenaline, I'm going to use it. So it's going to stop me from using all of my adrenaline skills. Because it has no cooldown. And it's not stacking. I mean, even if I put it all the way over here, I don't know that I'll ever get any adrenaline. It's obviously helping me kill these enemies, like, way, way faster. Like, way, way faster. Yeah, I understand how the priority works. But... well, so if I do it this way, then I shouldn't ever cast Blow, right? Because this skill also doesn't have a cooldown. So why am I casting Blow when I have another no cooldown skill next to it? That doesn't even make any sense. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to be able to use that. Well, so if I put Necro in front of any of these other abilities, then it never uses those other abilities, right? Because Necromancy has no cooldown. So it should never be anything but Necromancy getting cast now, except for these other skills over here. I don't understand why it's casting things after this skill. This skill should get in the way of all of these attacks. But it does it in a priority from left to right. So this skill is never on cooldown, so its priority should be above all of these skills. None of this should ever get cast. So if this is the auto attack, then it shouldn't matter where it is. Right? I should be able to just put it here as well. And it should just be casting all the time, right? Because it's just the auto attack? So it seems like I should even be able to take Necromancy off the Revo bar. Yeah, I don't even need Necromancy on the Revo bar. It's still casting. Yeah, stream's working good today there, Lounge. I found I did have a virus. Well, I had something that had installed an automated task on my computer that was trying to download a virus, and my computer kept blocking it, but it was causing it to eat up resources to block it. So I got rid of the automated task, and we're all good now. How did I get that? Doing stuff I shouldn't be doing on the internet, I guess. Got a little complacent with my online security. I haven't had a virus problem in like a decade, so I was starting to feel a little big for my britches, so had to make a mistake and have something bad happen. But that's okay. It was easy enough to fix. No harm, no foul. I'm pretty sure it was all connected to my Discord problem and all that stuff, so. Although it's also possible that the Discord problem just happened because there was a breach in some service that I used. Why are we fighting Shades? Because the Slayer thing tells me to. We're trying to get ourselves up to 50 Necro, and then we're going to go beat the shit out of the mole. It's about to be mole o'clock. That's the other thing I guess I don't understand is if necromancy is the basic attack, then why isn't it always using the basic attack? None of this makes any sense to me. I might have to put necromancy in the front just to make sure that I always pull. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's how we do it. Since the Revo bar will ignore it, maybe if I put necromancy all the way up here, then every time I click an enemy, then it'll just use necromancy to draw them in. Nope, that doesn't work. It has to get to an attack skill. Yeah, I'm not using the lantern because I want to use my shield, Cassie. Yeah, no, I'm thoroughly annoyed by all of that. Would say congratulations on the channel growth, but since I know you've worked for it. Hey, thanks a lot, Lounge. I appreciate that. Runescape has been very good to me, so I'm very much enjoying the runescaping. They cast 2 different attacks when they have them both equipped. Yeah, they've got the lantern does like all the summons and stuff. So you have to have, you can see it says you have to have the conduit here. And then you have to have the conduit for soul sap. And a bunch of these other conduit for conjure ghost, conduit for putrid zombie. What about Surge? Do you mean the magic ability Surge? I get it now. Now I have no adrenaline skills. I really dislike the necro adrenaline skills. They're really bad. I mean, like, they're strong, but they just eat up all of your adrenaline. I honestly think that I'm probably not going to be using Necro as part of my hybrid. I'll probably just be using the main three because Necro just doesn't mix. Yeah, I just don't think that there's any value in Necro, like, at all for this build. Right, so the problem with the Necro's adrenaline skills, Cassie, is that it uses all of your adrenaline. So all of the other three combat styles will steadily build up towards 100%. But because Bloat, for example, eats 20 adrenaline every time you have 20 adrenaline, and it has no cooldown, Bloat, if you have it on a Revo bar, will just keep you at 0 adrenaline. Which is fine. I mean, Bloat's a good skill. It does a lot of damage. But it lasts for... let's see... 10 hits at 1.8 seconds. So it lasts for 18 seconds, and it doesn't stack. So every time you throw Bloat out, you're just resetting its timer, and you're doing another one of those initial attacks for 800 damage or whatever. And so that's fine, but because it's not stacking, casting it over and over and over again doesn't really do anything. The fact that it doesn't have a cooldown is insane. Like, summons do a lot of damage, would feel better with summons. Bloat won't cast again if the mob has the debuff. No, it does. We just did it, Dracos. And it just keeps casting it over and over and over again. But the same thing is true of, for example, Finger of Death. Every time you get to up to 6 necrosis stacks, or every time you get a necrosis stack, Finger of Death auto casts. So I'm getting 4 here, and then I'm casting Finger of Death. And then it's consuming up to 60 adrenaline. And so, like, I'm just constantly eating all of my adrenaline. Every time I get to 60 adrenaline, Finger of Death just goes off and eats all my adrenaline. And so I never get to a point where I can cast any of my other adrenaline skills. I never get to a point where I can cast my Rejuvenate. Like, it just kills my build. And the regular basic attacks of Necro just don't really do anything. I mean, they're fine. Like, I'm killing stuff. But the point of this, the point of the hybrid rotation, is to have access to more threshold abilities. And to be able to put out more adrenaline-using abilities. And so if Necro's just eating all of my adrenaline, then that's not really happening. Maybe there will be some stuff much, much later that might benefit some from some of this stuff. I don't know. Like this soul scythe or spectral scythe ability is kind of cool. The residual soul thing kind of works with the volley of souls. So maybe when I get really late game, I can build up this secondary resource of residual souls with soul strike. And try and do that way with Necromancer instead of, having Necromancer be an adrenaline thing. But then that's kind of this weird secondary resource that nothing else can earn. So if my sword and my ranged and my wand can't earn residual souls for me, then Necro just sort of becomes this isolated thing outside of the other three. And so I don't know how much value that would have. The more I play with it, the more I'm starting to realize that straight hybriding just isn't really intended in this game. We may have to go back to just trying to do sword and board. But we'll give it a shot at the mole. We're about as strong in hybrid as we can be at this particular point in the game. Right, we've got a full set of God armor. We have our level 42 hybrid shield. We're about to have level 50 in all of the classes, which means we'll have our level 50 weapons for all classes. And so once we go to the mole with this, we'll be able to check sort of where our power level is at. And then we'll go ahead and we'll put on some level 50 gear for just a single build. And we'll see how those two things compare. And that should give us an idea. Didn't want to burst your bubble. I'm here for the journey and want to see how things... Yeah, I mean, it was a long shot. It seemed like there was some real potential. Just because of the threshold skills and the adrenaline mechanic. It seemed like there was some real potential. So we'll try a couple of things. We'll try and beat the boss with Necro. We'll try and beat the boss without Necro. And then we'll try and beat the boss just as a single class. And we'll see which of those things do the best. I do still think that for a sword ranged magic set, it might still work. And I definitely think as a farming build, it actually is better than pretty much anything else. Because you have that hybrid gear set that has the melee weapon that allows you to life leech prayer or leech prayer. And so you can maintain, I think, a lot more prayers by doing that. And then you just have other two-hander weapons for your other classes. So you leech a lot of prayer, and then you build up adrenaline, and then you just burn down adrenaline with lots of AoE attacks. I think that will work really well. And so just as like an AFK or semi-AFK farming, where you're just running a Revo bar and cycling through some weapons and holding up a bunch of really strong prayers, I think that'll work really well. Well, I mean, it doesn't appear that I can do anything that I want. Because what I want is to wear this god armor and cycle through all 4 weapon styles, and that doesn't seem like it's going to be a thing. But not only do I think it's going to be less effective than just a single class, I think it might be so ineffective that it will be impractical to do. And that makes me sad. I wish that there was another way to use these necrosis stacks. I wish that Finger of Death wasn't like the only skill that burned necrosis stacks. That'd be cool. I think it's important for you to know that Necro was built around a different system to everything else. Yeah, I mean, it definitely appears to be extremely isolated. And so here's something that I'm really afraid of. I'm afraid of... So they said in their integrity video or whatever that their goal was to bring the other combat classes in line with Necro. And so I think that that's going to absolutely end any viability of hybriding. Because if they do the same thing to the other classes that they've now done to Necro, where they isolate them really hard like this, but they mentioned some things about changing up how adrenaline works and resource management and stuff like that for the other classes, because there are a lot more resources to manage in Necro. You have the souls, you have this necrosis stacks, you have the residual souls, you have all that stuff. But the more of those resources that you have, the more you isolate the skill. Because if I can't get residual souls, for example, off of the attack skills, then my necro and my attack don't have any interconnectivity, right? The thing that was so good about this hybrid system was everything used adrenaline. And if everything is using adrenaline and everything is building adrenaline, and I can find some extra ways to build some additional adrenaline, then, you know, I could force some interconnectivity between the different weapon styles. But if they start using resources that each other don't have, then they become too isolated from each other, and now I can't do that. Now I'm spending too much time waiting for things like Touch of Death to go off to give me necrosis stacks so that I can then cast a threshold ability. And then I've got to swap again and wait for something else to attack or to cast so that I can then use some other resource. And so the more of that stuff there is, the less and less effective it becomes, because the power of this was ultimately behind the fact that all of these threshold abilities have really long cooldowns. And so being able to get more threshold abilities that do more stronger activities mean that I can output more DPS per time by cycling through those, because I just get access to more thresholds that way. But if they isolate everything, that won't happen. And I mean, that's fine. If they want to take hybrid totally out of the game, I don't necessarily have a problem with that. Because right now, I think it's kind of in a state where it feels possible, but it isn't quite possible, and that's pretty frustrating. So they do need to kind of get off the fence with it. Like, either take the hybrid stuff out of the game completely, so that it doesn't seem like a potentially viable option, or turn it into an actually viable option. Because right now it's in this weird limbo place that just sucks. Yeah, shit or get off the pot. Exactly. Hybrid is 100% required in order to hit the endgame kill timer Rex for trimmed comp. Just very sweaty, unfun way to play. Well, and so that's not hybrid. If you're switching complete gear sets, you're not playing hybrid, you're playing all. And there's actually there are two designations. There is the hybrid designation and there is the all designation. So, for example, if you look here at this shield is an all designation, and you'll see that its tier is tier 42. So all designated equipment doesn't have the same reduction to tier. This one is tier 35. This is technically a tier 50 item right now, but it's only giving me tier 35 armor because it's hybrid. The all gear doesn't do the same thing. I think it reduces by 5, not by 15. But the all gear is different because the set bonuses are usually contingent on one or multiple of the items being swapped based on which style you're using. So, like, for example, this one, the Void Knight equipment has different helms for every single one. And so you get this bonus where you get your accuracy and your melee bonus, or your accuracy and your damage bonus, but you only get that if you're wearing the appropriate helm. So it forces you to switch additional gear. And so that's the all distinction, is swapping gear, swapping equipment, right? Swapping armors and stuff like that. But the hybrid is the set bonus is effective regardless of primary weapon. Because I could absolutely just put my level 50 gear, right? I could get hybrid, I've got hybrid amulet, I've got hybrid ring, I could get myself a nice hybrid cape, and then I could just swap all 5 of my armor pieces and my 2 weapon slots for every set, and that would totally be fine. And I could even set it up in a rotation so that it was always going from one specific set to the next. So instead of swapping, I've got all of them set up where no matter which one I click, QWER is always the same setup here. I could just change it where it was QWERTY or something like that, or DF. And I could just swap. So every time I went from melee, I would go straight to range. Every time I went from range, I'd go straight to magic. Every time I went straight from magic, I went to necro. And I could absolutely just switch all of that stuff that way and just have it set up in a line and ultimately be pressing about the same amount of buttons. But it would fill up. I mean, every single different gear set would require at least 6, if not 7 slots in my inventory. So I would be taking up somewhere between 18 and 28. Nope, 24 and 28. Yeah, somewhere between 24 and 28 of my slots would be taken up by gear swaps in that manner. I don't bring food to bosses, just bring pots. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. The game seems to be fighting itself. Its skill system and its gear system and its inventory system all seem to be at odds with each other. But that's fine. I'll just play sword and board. I don't have a problem with that. The hybrid thing was going to be cool because it was unique to this system. There aren't, when you normally play an MMO, you normally don't have the opportunity to try and play all of the damage types and stuff at the same time. And so that was just this really cool, unique thing that might have been able to be done here. If it's not, then I'm not really losing anything. I'm just kind of going back to a more standard MMO style where I choose a class and that's the class I'm playing. Is there winter dot in RS3 or any fun mini games for fire making? No idea. You will get it to work 3 out of 4 styles. Yeah, I think you're right about that, Dimebag. I think it will work with my melee ranged and magic. I do think you're right about that. Oh, we're already done with Shades. Why am I still murdering Shades? Yeah, I'm excited to gain some adrenaline earning abilities. I'm really excited for Divert. That's going to be such a good skill. Divert is so awesome. All right, back to here we go. I need another assignment. Excellent, you're doing great. Kill 67 crocodiles. Fantastic. Time to go murder crocodiles. Next engagement bait stream title to get the RS handies playing the real RuneScape, not the old remake. Oh, nice. Nice. I like it. That live stream got so much engagement from OSRS players coming to tell me that I was wrong. It was hilarious. It was hilarious.
Hello, Effendi. Please read the billboard. There is a heartbroken. Absolutely, Effendi.
What's really funny is at no point, my other video only said positive things about the RuneScape 3 combat system, it didn't say any negative things about the OSRS system. I didn't say like RS3 combat is better than old school RuneScape combat in the title. All I did was say that RS3 was the best in the MMO genre. And a bunch of OSRS players were mad at me. Man, they were mad at me. It was fairly hilarious. All right, little crocodilian, come over here. Come over here, take your medicine. Playing both RSs right now. Play both games, but RS3 is better in my opinion. Couldn't be happier you enjoy it though. I know absolutely nobody IRL who likes it. So it's been fun to watch. It shocks me so much that people hate this combat system so much. And maybe it's because people don't use the Revo bar like I do. I imagine if I was actually down here trying to click all these skills and shit and having to contend with the tick system, it might piss me off. But I don't deal with that because I just use the Revo bar. And so honestly, I play RS3 very similarly to how one would play old school RuneScape, right? Where eventually I'm going to be worrying about my prayers and my positioning and a bunch of stuff like that. So I'm front loading a lot of the complexity by using deck building to create, my build here. But then I'm just watching the attacks happen. I'm not triggering any attacks. I'm not doing any of that. So it's weird to me that a system that is so much like OSRS, right, that tries to turn RS3 sort of into OSRS with a little more upfront preparation stuff, makes the OSRS players so angry. I honestly think it's just the annoyance of the OSRS players for having their cheese moved. Most like me have made up our minds before playing it because of how unexpected / unfamiliar it was. Well, and so I understand, Revo didn't exist when Evolution of Combat first came out. And so I totally understand why you would have made the switch at that time. That makes absolute sense to me. But the system now at least has an option to be very similar and still have all of these skills. And so I don't know, it just confuses me. Just confuses me. But that's fine. I mean, if you want to play OSRS, play OSRS. If you're having a good time, then I guess it doesn't really matter. We quit. There was nothing to switch to at the time besides private servers. Well, and I could also understand staying away because of the MTX. That makes a lot of sense to me. And I think that has a lot more to do with it than people let on. I don't know. I think when the Revo system came out, more people probably would have at least come back to give it a try if they didn't have the horrible MTX stuff at the time. I would have left when that patch came out, when the MTX came out. I would have also left the game. But it would have just been because of the MTX stuff. Fucking time back. You bored ass motherfucker. Look at these swords though. I love these. I really want one. I like the purple spirit blade looking thing. I mean, I think Iron Man is a really good way to experience RS3. Because I don't even know. The purple is extra, need 2 in-game dice for that? Oh no. Oh no. Speaking of which, I should start dyeing my shit. I got all these robes and stuff. Can I dye all this stuff? Can I make this all yellow? I could be the yellow hermit. The purple is extra. Need 2 in-game. Both are dropped for clues. Okay. Got 2 blood types and 1 third age dies from clues. Oh, blood dies, not blood types. I was like, which blood types? Oh, shit. Are there any magic spells that eat necrosis stacks? No, of course not. On the bright side, so this is where Necro might actually get involved with my other hybrid stuff, is because you don't need to equip the Necro weapon to use like any of these. Now, some of them have a lot of synergy with just specifically Necro stuff, but let's see. Necromancy attacks, nope. Surround yourself with a whirlwind of bones. Teleport. Life transfer. Skeletal spirit attacks, nope. Necromancy attack, nope. Shroud yourself in darkness applies darkness to self. 20% chance to dodge incoming attacks. So that's probably going to get used. And let's see, Split Soul, unleash a dark power within. 400% of the life points you would have gained from Soul Split is instead dealt to your target. This potentially could have some value. Does it need a Necro Web? It doesn't say that on here. It needs to fucking say that. Oh, Split Soul needs a Necro Web. Okay. Well, then that's useless. So the only one that's valuable here is Darkness and the shields. But that's fine. This has a nice 12-minute duration. Honestly, that darkness skill is super dope. I'm into that. I'm into that a lot. So that's probably where most of my value from Necro is going to come from, is from some of those spells. Unfortunately, I would prefer to be using Necro as part of the rotation. And then, so not using Revenge, so we may end up, because we can get so many prayer points, and you use prayer points for the curses, right? Okay. My hope is reinvigorating here. We'll get something going. But Necro is not going to be a thing. We're still going to take this to 50 real quick, because we're already there. But I don't even think I'm going to try using it on the mole. I think I'm just going to use my 3 abilities. And then if we get a dragon sword, so here's what we'll do. If we get a dragon sword, then we'll also go ahead and make ourselves some level 50 two-handed mage and ranged weapons. And then we'll use the Necro defense skill, Necro shield skill. And we'll do some comparisons there between using the actual defender shield and running a two-handed, with the two-handed dragon sword, which, I mean, the two-handed dragon sword is a special sword, so it's going to obviously help output significantly more damage. But we'll see how the whole system feels that way. Yo, what is that? Dragon Battle Axe. That's actually pretty dope. And the death mark for AFKing and doing lower level bosses. Death mark. Oh, invoke death? Yeah. Except you have to be using Necro abilities. The spec. Rampage. But it reduces some of your other stats, it looks like. So you lose ranged and magic. Oh, that's kind of sucky. Yeah, when I'm overloaded, they go back up. We'll have to think about that too. I guess I need to take some potions into the mole. Can I chug a bunch of different potions that level up a bunch of different things? Like, can I take attack, ranged, and magic all at the same time to level up all 3? Or do they cancel each other? Dope. Dope-a-lope. Look at my stats, they're all boosted. Nice. Oh, shit. Damn. Oh, that's interesting. So, see, so this is, a bunch of these items were made before, right? Like your Dragon Axe was obviously made before Necro. So it didn't take away from the Necro levels, right? It just took away from your ranged and your magic. which is kind of hilarious. How long does it last? Because, I mean, I'll spend 100 adrenaline, right? I'll use an ultimate ability. I just don't want to always be out of adrenaline. Oh, right, it decays 1 per minute. That's right. I understand how that works now. I get it. Let's see. We're going to throw bloat back in here because I don't really need to be using a lot of my other stuff. Or let's pick bloat. We'll throw bloat back in here. It'll get rid of all of my other adrenaline abilities and stuff, but whatever. I like this spear. Masterwork Spear of Annihilation. Reduces the duration of bleeds by 50%. I like that. I'm a big fan of bleed builds. Especially for like sword and board stuff. I love me some bleeds. Oh no, are all my water skins empty? That sucks. Crocodile. Is there a water source somewhere near here? I have gained 1 talent point. Ring also does bleeds? Nice. Ooh, critical strike chance against bleeding targets and critical strike damage. Yeah. See, that's what I'm talking about right there. I'm gonna need that ring. Let's go get some agua. Beer-da-be-doo. Beer-da-be-doo. Beer-da-beer-da-beer-da-beer-da-beer-da-beer-da-beer-doo. Gloves also help with bleed? Shit. That's real nice. That's real nice. Hello, darkness, my old friend. I'm here to talk to you again. So close. 1800 more XP, then we'll be level 50. We're going to make our level 50 knives because we should have rune ore on hand. So we'll get ourselves a couple hundred level 50 knives. And then we're going to go murder the mole. Mole, 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 mole. Whoops, I switched weapons. Quack. When I'm doing melee, I'm 2 different rotations depending on what adren / abilities are spent. Yeah, that's another thing I kind of want to look at in the settings is if this hybrid thing doesn't really work out, we have action bar bindings. So I kind of want to do like dual wield here. And then, oh, that only allows me to get an additional action bar. What I want is the main action bar here. This one only allows ranged. Some of this is really weird. I don't really understand all of this. Like, why can't I set up a binding for action bar number 9 here for a weapon style? Oh, I can. Oh, okay. So you can just only do one main. That makes sense. So if I want, I have to have additional. And then I can choose. Okay. Well, that's no fun. Because I would totally love to swap just between like 2-hand, dual wield, sword shield. Just by swapping gear. You know what I mean? But it doesn't seem like I can swap the Revo bar within the same combat style. I can. Well, that's interesting. Maybe it's because I have it set up as any. On the first one, maybe that's the problem. So maybe this one needs to be like dual wield. And then I can come down and do 2-hand on a main bar. Yep, that's how it works. Okay, so if I have one of them set as any, I can't do it. So I'll probably have to switch between... I assume dual wield counts for sword shield. So I'll probably have to switch between sword shield 2-hand, which is fine because I don't really like dual wielding. So that's fine with me. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's cool. That honestly makes me pretty happy. Because that's another thing that I'll enjoy, is if I can't do this hybrid thing at a really high level, then doing weapon swaps within melee will make me pretty happy. Especially, I mean, you could probably get kind of crazy with it. With lots of different weapons, with different specs and stuff like that. Just swapping around and having a good time. And hey, level 50 Necro. What's up, boys and girls? And level 52 Slayer. Now we can do Flesh and Bones and Ancient Awakening. Hey, what's up? I'm Psychotic. How are you today? Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the channel. I am going into my first mole right now, so I'm going to try and do it solo. But we just hit my goal here for 50 in all my classes. So it is time to teleport my happy ass up here to Faldor. We're going to go make our level 50 daggers real quick, throwing daggers. I think I've kind of already got my builds set up the way I like them. I kind of worked on them a little last night. So I think I'm set up the way I like for my 3 that I'm actually going to use. So we'll be rotating through. But let's just go craft us up some rune daggers real quick. And then we'll do some banking. And then I'm going to go fight this fool. All right. Do we have rune? Oh, we only have 1 rune bar? Am I serious about that? Gross. Let's see. I have lots of Dragolith, right? Rune bars are Luminite. Okay. Well, we can get plenty of rune bars right here. So let's just go get ourselves a little bit of rune. Gotta go to the bank first. Put that away. And we need that. And then we'll go get some rune. Give me them runite rocks. Oh shit, do I have runite fucking... I do. Runite spirits, that's what's up. Alright, that's probably enough. That'll make me 14 sets of daggers. At 25 apiece, that's hundreds. Let's go get some Luminite. Which I also have some spirits, which is very nice. It's actually going to make this all way easier. There we go. We should be back now. I don't really know why that keeps fucking happening. It's pretty much ruining my life, though.